Aperture.
Don, welcome to Aperture.
Thank
you for coming by. We're so proud to be the publisher of this new survey of all your work, published on the occasion of your 80th birthday.
Yes.
How was that?
I hate the idea of getting old because I still have a young mind and an old body. So, it makes life difficult to sustain like hours in my dark room or standing on Hadrian's Wall in a blizzard, which I really love doing. I'm defiant, but I don't know how much longer I can keep it going.
But you were just in Iraq, you just told me 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
So you are still going in obviously demanding circumstances.
I think it was slightly foolish of me to go to Iraq, but I just wanted to get out of my system because I went to Aleppo 2 years ago. It was the danger of being kidnapped was greater than being shot at. So there's all these new fears, and when you go to war now, it's not the same. The biggest fear is IEDs, the mines that blow your legs off, or the sniper. So war has changed quite dramatically. So there's no place for an old man in war. It's a young man's. So I'm better off, standing on the English countryside, doing landscape.
Your landscape pictures are looking absolutely tremendous in here. I don't think I've seen them look better in print than in here. I mean, in book form.
Well, this is where I live, you see, and I'm capturing. I know the environmental surroundings where I live. I normally only do them in winter because the winter light in England is like a phosphorus light. Since we're surrounded by the sea, we have this strange light, and a lot of people accuse me of turning my landscapes into war scenes.
Well, they're dark.
Well, I'm dark.
Yes.
I mean, I might, put out this kind of jolly old man, but having witnessed war for many, many years, it's taken away from me, and it's also given me something in exchange, which is also dark, really. So.
I mean, they are a counterpoint to your war pictures, but then they're not war pictures, and they are exquisitely beautiful in a way that your war pictures, while perfectly formed, you couldn't say that about them.
Well, I'm a solitary person. I like being alone. If you go to war, you're surrounded by people. For instance, this photograph here was taken on the 6th cataract of the Nile. I did it about 3 years ago, and this was the evening, and I always do evening light. That's my best light. And I like archaeological history and time like that. So if I have to have my life back again, I think I would have done more archaeological work. I like being in Roman cities or 2,000-year-old places, which have got history.
And you have an ongoing documentation of ancient sites, and
Yes.
you were in Palmyra not that long ago, or maybe it was a decade ago.
Five years ago.
Right.
And unfortunately, I fell over in Palmyra because it was the beginning of, it was signals saying, something's coming, and I had a stroke really. And I fell over and I broke my rib and collapsed my lung, but I didn't realize my lung so I kept working for 20 days, and I was in really bad agony. But I went to the museum, and I spoke to the curator of the museum, who's a very, very well-known man in that area. He said, have tea, and I sat on the edge of his sofa in such agony, making out it wasn't happening, just to seek permission to photograph in the museum, which he gave. And then tragically, several weeks ago, I learnt that this man has been beheaded, and he was hung upside down with his severed head beneath his body. So when you've had a wonderful life like me, and then you read about things like that which you've been in touch with, it really throws you. It makes you feel insecure, sad, and just to get a picture. I mean, I did these Palmyran pictures, and the reason we're talking about it is that the ISIS have started to blow up the temples I photographed. So I have a very extensive coverage of Palmyra. That's not good enough, I'd rather see the stones, which have been there for 2,000 years, still there.
The great thing about this book, I hope, is it's going to attract and appeal to new American audiences that perhaps don't know you or don't know the way they should. So well, we're very proud of it, and thank you again for coming by.